Disrupting Japan, Episode 17. Welcome to Disrupting Japan, straight talk from Japan's most successful entrepreneurs. I'm Tim Romero, and thanks for listening. Today we sit down and talk with Koichiro Yoshida of CrowdWorks. Now, this is one of Japan's largest crowdsourcing platforms, and Koichiro built it up from nothing to IPO in less than 3 years. He's received awards from people like Prime Minister Abe for the potential for this crowdsourcing movement to reshape the Japanese economy, and he's got some fascinating insights on that very subject. Now, CrowdWorks was not Koichiro's first company. He's been involved in more than a dozen different projects over the years, including one to build an entire new city, just like Henry Ford did. Now, most people in the software world are very glib when talking about failure. When you ask them about it, they'll say, oh yeah, fail fast, fail forward. Well, yeah, okay, but what about you? You personally? Oh, me? No, me, I'm crushing it. I'm not failing at anything. There's something rather amusing about people who simultaneously, emphatically proclaim that failure is good while being terrified as actually being seen as failing. Well, near the end of this interview, I realized that a perfect demonstration of lack of concern about failure was in this interview itself. So let me explain. This is Koichiro's first audio interview in English, and he still struggles with English. The 30-minute interview that you're about to hear is an edited-down version of our almost 90-minute conversation. And during that time, we were breaking in and out of Japanese. You can hear his assistants in the background trying to cobble together correct English phrases or put up PowerPoint slides for reference. And you can hear Koichiro reaching back into his memory of college English classes to find the right words to answer a question with. Two things we discuss in this interview that listeners outside of Japan might not know. First, Son-san is the CEO of SoftBank, and he is one of the few truly successful and disruptive Japanese entrepreneurs. SoftBank is one of the very few startups that succeeded by taking on the powerful domestic incumbents head-on. Second, in Japanese, the word challenge is used as a verb. The challenge is not the difficult external situation. The challenge is what steps you take to resolve that situation. And I have to admit, I sort of like the Japanese use of the English word better. Anyway, in terms of not fearing failure, even outside of his native language and far outside his comfort zone, Koichiro dominated the room. He's laughing through the entire process and having a great time. We all were, and somehow managed to explain some very complex ideas using very simple words. So if this interview seems a bit chaotic, well, it was. And there is a lot to learn from trying to make order from that chaos. So here we go.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being part of this. So let's get started.
Yes.
I'm sitting here with Koichiro Yoshida, who started CrowdWorks. So our listeners understand, CrowdWorks is a B2B focused crowdsourcing platform in just about only 3 years.
Yes.
You've grown it from nothing to 68,000 client customers, almost 450,000 freelancers.
Yes.
And I've used it a number of times.
You forgot important things.
What's that?
Less than 3 years, we went to public.
And you went public. That's right. You went public last December.
Yes. Very important things.
So congratulations, your job is now much, much harder.
Exactly.
But one thing is, I've noticed in this office, the environment here still feels very much like a startup.
Startup, yes.
So you've grown very fast over the last 3 years.
Yes.
Your plans for growing this year is also, you're planning on almost doubling the size of the staff. How do you think you're going to be able to keep the corporate culture the same? How are you going to keep CrowdWorks thinking like a startup?
なるほど。First thing, I tell you our situation in crowdsourcing.
Okay.
As you know, SoftBank is the most successful company in information technologies in Japan market.
Absolutely.
CrowdWorks was featured as the next SoftBank.
The next SoftBank.
Yeah, by Nikkei, a media giant.
That's a big ambition.
Yes. And I tried to make next $1 trillion company. Ne? And in fact, I made a presentation at the SoftBank World. Masason,
right?
Jack Ma, and it's me.
That's impressive company to be in.
So our company is the next SoftBank.
SoftBank, I think, is one of the few truly entrepreneurial companies in Japan. Son is very aggressive. He's very disruptive.
Yes.
He is a great person to both model yourself on and set your ambition towards.
Yes.
How do you think growth will change your culture inside?
Okay. Yes.
Do you think it'll stay the same?
I think not same. Because as you know, Mr. Son is a powerful people and have a big ambition. But I think I am not so strong. So it is important thing is teamwork.
To build the team around
build
you.
Teamwork is the most important thing for management. Because of our business model, crowdsourcing means open innovation. So our management style similar to crowdsourcing.
So very open?
Yes, very open.
Very transparent.
And なんだろうね、こうワンマンってなんていうの？ワンマン。
Flat?
Oh yes, flat.
So it's a very flat hierarchy. Complicated ideas in simple words.
Our company called the next SoftBank, but not SoftBank, because our management style is flat, very flat.
Right, and SoftBank is extremely hierarchical.
Yes.
But it's a different generation. I think Japan today, the whole society is much more flat than Japan 40 years ago, 30 years ago, in Son-san's generation.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. I know since your IPO, you're not as free to talk about the future of the company as much. But let's talk about the future of Japan and about crowdsourcing. Because of the language barrier in Japan, the Japanese crowdsourcing market it's very isolated. Well, just like Japan, it's sort of an island. Do you see a difference in the types of use patterns between Japan and the rest of the world? Is it still primarily developers and designers, or are there some unique stories and unique types of freelancers that you've seen only in Japan?
In America, there are many community. For example, working time, private time, family time, and religion time. But for Japanese, only community is company.
Yes.
In America, many community, particularly in 20th century, Japanese always stay in company. Company means personal life.
Yeah, so in Japan, it's very much so. A person is his identity. Is the company.
Exactly.
His social life, his wife's status, everything depends on the company he works for and his position.
But in 21st century, change. Before Fukushima earthquake, Japanese person always believe in company.
Right.
But after earthquake, Japanese people believe in family. Extremely change.
So do you think there really was a nationwide shift after that?
Yes. In emergency time, company not protect personal.
That's true.
Yes. In emergency time, family protect personal. So change Japanese mind.
That's really interesting. Now, freelancing and crowdsourcing in general, it's been interesting to watch the politicians and the government talk about it over the last 10 or 15 years. 10 years ago, people were talking about freeders and NEETs as almost parasites. And now, even Medi has been saying crowdsourcing is part of Japan's future. How do you see the future of crowdsourcing in Japan? Do you think this will be a niche type of employment, or do you think that this will come to a place where 5, 10, 20% of Japanese are working on a crowdsourcing or freelance basis? How big will this change be?
For many people in Japan, working under the rule of their company is a general standard of their work life. However, since the earthquake in 2011, many people began to reflect their way of life and have come to realize the importance of family. In addition, while globalization has been progressing, more young people tend to stay in local, and the number of students who want to go into local university has been increasing. I believe it could bring people a new way of working in a way that enable people to stay in local areas where they grew up and get jobs from all over the country at the same time. As an initiative for that, we launched a program in 2014 collaborating with Nichinan City in Miyazaki to enable people living in that area to make 200,000 yen a month.
That is fantastic, and I think that is the one of the government's big hopes for crowdsourcing. Yes. So a lot of our listeners overseas might not know, but over the last 50 years or so, the population of the countryside has been getting smaller.
Yes.
And the big cities, especially Tokyo, has been getting bigger and bigger. So crowdsourcing holds the hope that we'll be able to have people in rural areas that can enjoy their higher quality of life but still earn a living. So with the Miyazaki project,
yes.
Is this happening yet? Are a large percentage of your freelancers in rural areas?
Please show.
It's hard to show them slides because it's audio, but I'll explain it.
Yes.
I will do my best to explain to the listeners.
Yes. Do you know the one at right end?
That is Prime Minister Abe.
Yes. Last month, Abe praised me. First Nippon Venture Awards by Ministry of Economy.
Yeah.
So President Abe expects our company too.
Yep, they're expecting a lot from you. It's hard to know what happens in the future, but right now,
yes.
Do you have a lot of freelancers that are in the countryside?
Many our workers are living outside of Tokyo.
Yeah?
Yes. Crowd worker can work every time, everywhere.
And I think you mentioned once before in a presentation that a lot of your freelancers, a lot of your crowd workers were retired.
Yes.
So it's not just young designers and programmers using it. What are the kinds of jobs the retired people are doing most?
Yes. Called retire is correct, but not correct. Because in company, 60 years is retirement years. In crowdsourcing.
Right. So Japanese people retire very early and live very long.
Yes.
So they might have to retire from their companies at 60.
Yes.
But they can still participate in crowdsourcing.
Yes.
What kind of jobs are the older people, especially those in the countryside? What kind of jobs are they doing?
Our main user are professional engineers, designers, and writers. More than 50% of our users are female. Half of our female users are raising a child at the same time.
Wow.
Yes.
That is very important for Japan's future.
Our 188 industries are
covered. So a huge variety
of industries. Variety jobs.
Both CrowdWorks and crowdsourcing is certainly taking off in Japan. But on a personal level, what you said before about the company being so important, I think there's also a deep feeling that people need to feel they belong.
Yes.
And the place people always belonged was the company.
Yes.
Using a crowdsourcing, how do people feel they belong in Japan? Do they feel loyal to the crowdsourcing platform? Do they build new networks? How do people keep the sense of belonging?
I think belong to internet, or like Matrix.
So part of
Have you ever seen Matrix?
Yep.
Matrix?
Of course.
Yes, Neo and なんだ
Morpheus.
Morpheus ね。Live separate place. But
Connected.
Yes, he belonged to internet. Internet.
I'd never thought of it that way. So, but I mean, that does make sense with the internet being more open and it not mattering whether you're in Tokyo or, in Sadost or wherever. Yeah, I guess you could have a very, very large network where everyone belongs.
Yes.
Have you found that, have your customers hesitated to use crowdsourcing? In Japan, traditionally, businesses like to build up long relationships.
Yes.
They like things very stable and working with the same people over time. So was it hard to convince big companies to trust crowdsourcing?
Yes. I think Japanese people have separate custom, one language, one culture.
So do you think Japanese companies are becoming more flexible?
Yes. Recently, Chinese people often comes in Tokyo for sightseeing.
Yeah, the government said that Chinese tourism is a very important source of revenue.
Yes.
So companies are being more flexible. Japan is being more willing to open up and look to outside.
Yes.
And I know CrowdWorks is trying to partner with crowdsourcing platforms in Southeast Asia. Do Japanese companies prefer to work with Japanese freelancers, or are they more flexible and willing to work with people from Vietnam or Thailand?
In the near future, we try to make collaboration in Vietnam and Thailand. But now, just research and just feasibility study. Japanese circumstance is very special. Always need to meet.
But so much business is face-to-face in Japan.
Face. So crowdsourcing in world, no need to meet. But crowdsourcing in Japan, need to meet.
How did you solve that problem with clients who want to meet?
In America, companies can describe concrete profile for outsourcing. But in Japan,
Japanese companies, yeah, that's true. Japanese companies are not very good at writing a specification.
Yes.
You were saying before they like things to be vague.
Yes.
And that's why they need to meet face to face.
Yes.
But doesn't this make it difficult for crowdsourcing platforms?
When I found this company 3 years ago, one client come here and said, please make iPhone application like LINE. That's
okay. That's a pretty vague spec. For overseas listeners, LINE is like Skype, basically.
So I think it is difficult. But I have experience old economy. I have an experience of working in Japanese manufacturing company. Japanese language seems to same, but Japanese old company talk another language.
So Japanese new internet companies and Japanese old companies are both speaking Japanese, but it's practically a different language.
Yes, practically different, big different.
Now you've got some very large Japanese companies as customers also. Are most of your customers like new internet companies, or are most of your companies more the traditional?
I show you our project. Sony, Itochu, Fujifilm, Yamaha, TBS TV company.
These are big Japanese companies?
Big company. Start to use crowdsourcing. Do you know Cristiano Ronaldo? You know? You don't know?
No, I don't.
Oh, really?
I'm not
most famous soccer player.
I'm not a sports person.
Really? Cristiano Ronaldo use CrowdWorks.
Oh, really?
But I have never seen anything.
That's the advantage of crowdsourcing. You never actually meet the customers.
Yes. No need to meeting. Yes.
So before we were talking about the research you were doing now about crowdsourcing in Southeast Asian countries for new freelancers. But with the Tokyo Olympics coming up, do you think that a lot of overseas clients might suddenly need to use Japanese crowdsourcing services?
Increasing. Recently, United Air use CrowdWorks for promotion. And Nestle use crowdsourcing or making new chocolate for senior, Japanese senior.
Really?
Yes.
That's
very interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yes. Vice President of Nestle is very interesting in CrowdWorks. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The world is getting smaller, and so both the clients and the freelancers are becoming more international.
Yes.
Let me ask you maybe some kind of personal questions about your own story.
Okay.
So I know you originally wanted to be an actor, didn't you?
Hi.
That seems like kind of a big career change. So how did you go from wanting to be an actor to starting different companies?
Hi. Young days, yes. I wish to become actor, but I failed because I don't know money and contract.
So the failure is because you didn't understand the business side.
Business manner, business custom, yes. CrowdWorks is a third challenge in my startup career. For the first one, I joined an IT startup called Doricom as a company executive and experienced the company going public on Mother Stock Exchange 10 years ago. At that time, I was only 20 and honestly speaking, going public was the only goal I had in mind. However, after the company went public, I got stuck and wondered what am I going to do now. So after going public, the company experienced deficit, downwards adjustment and downsizing.
Oh. That happens a lot in Japan.
No.
Sadly.
It even came to the point where there was no choice but to cancel the offers to the new grads after having already made them the offers.
Wow.
Yes. The
So
worst part.
how long did that take after IPO until the troubles happened?
Only 6 months passed.
Oh, wow. So 6 months after IPO. That is not a fun thing to be going through.
Yes. The worst part was that I personally had to take back the offers I gave the student half a year before. One day, I got a call from one of those new grads, but I couldn't pick it up. Since then, CrowdWorks has been selecting people carefully during the hiring process. Because of this, there have only been 3 people who left CrowdWorks.
So in the 3 years since you founded, you've only had 3 employees leave.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Yes, thank you.
No, that is astounding.
I think incredible.
How many staff do you have now?
100, about 100.
That's incredible. Even by Japanese standards, that's incredible.
Incredible is my favorite.
But that's
the most important thing is arigato. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Every morning, I imagine my colleague and our company's user. I say arigato, and I come to office. I can always work with smile every day. I have experienced lonely time, no colleague, no user, 3 years ago.
Well, I think that is important. Right now, starting a company is seen as kind of glamorous and fun.
Yes.
And sometimes there are definitely fun times, but there's also really difficult times.
Yes. Almost of fail cause that forget arigato.
You think that most companies and also were some of your earlier ventures, do you feel the problem was you didn't appreciate your users as much?
I have a variety of interests, money, girlfriend, go public. So I failed. Yes.
So just a lack of focus,
yes.
A lack of
yes.
Well, I think that's having both focus on your goal and a sense of gratitude, of arigatai,
yes,
is extremely powerful. It may not be what's like kind of fashionable in the movies, but I think staying focused, staying grateful?
Our company have 100 employees have different thinking.
Right.
Yes. Perhaps cannot control. Just arigato for 100 people,
right.
Workers.
Right. I think that is also the attitude of being grateful to your employees is rather new in Japan. It's almost the reverse.
Yes.
And traditionally, the employees were loyal and grateful to their boss and the company president.
Yes.
So I think that's a very interesting attitude.
Oh, thank you.
And a very refreshing one.
In the near future, we make a new culture company, ne?
So in the past, you worked on many different projects.
Yes.
Are you still working on different crazy side projects, or are you 100% only working on CrowdWorks now?
I concentrate CrowdWorks. Only one.
Okay.
Yes. But tomorrow, I go to playing golf. Sorry. but once a year.
You play golf once a year?
Once a year. So please forgive.
Yeah, I think your investors will forgive playing golf once a year.
Sorry.
It is fascinating in Japan now. Japan is at a point of change. You talked before about how the shift away from the company being the center of the life, startups are becoming more socially acceptable. Freelancing, where 10 years ago it was viewed as there's something wrong with this person,
Yes.
is now understood to be very important to have a mobile, flexible workforce. So I go to a lot of co-working spaces and events and startup events in Tokyo. And most people are freelancers. Not so many are really entrepreneurs. What do you think is the difference between a good freelancer and a good entrepreneur?
A bit different is interesting in organization. Freelance have no interesting.
So the startup founders need to understand organization and structure.
Yes.
And freelancers can be, free.
Free, yes. So I think freelance is our family.
So but when you started CrowdWorks, you really bootstrapped. I think you said you sold your car, you used your own money. If you had to do it today, would you start the same way, or would you try to get money quicker from like an incubator?
Depends on personal type.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I am lazy.
I don't think you're lazy. No. I don't think so. You play golf once a year. That is not lazy.
So I need to throw away another thing.
Did you need to throw it away so you could focus, or to throw it away so you would have no choice but to succeed?
Yes.
So no choice but to succeed.
Yes. If I have many choice, I spread my mind.
That's very interesting. I think it's true. We've seen a lot of companies in Japan and in America who raise a lot of money very early and spend it very quickly and very badly.
Yes.
So I suppose there is, using your own money definitely helps focus.
Yes. Gathering money is important for startup. But most of the important things is credibility. I decide that I concentrate only this one. That's my credibility.
So by putting yourself in that position, your customers, your investors, everyone understands that you are 100% committed to success.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Gathering money is just process.
True. I agree 100%. But I think right now, if you read news about startups, most articles are about raising money. And when I go to startup events and I teach at startup classes, most students' questions are about raising money. So I think you're
Exactly.
right.
Yes.
It's not that important, but everyone
Yes.
thinks it's so important. I can imagine that's very personally motivating. But what did your family and what did your friends think about that decision?
My family suggests me. My friend cannot understand, but only 3 years. Only 3 years. My life is very long, very long. Just 3 years, or 5 years, 10 years.
So you explained
Yes.
to them it was just something you were going to try.
Yes, yes. Another time, we live with friend and family. If you have a will to start a business, you should start the business now. And if never give up, you will surely find the way. An entrepreneur fails when they don't make challenges in life where there is no success nor no failure.
If you don't have a chance to fail,
Yes.
you can't really succeed.
Yes, failure is a chance to grow.
Well, do you think...
Nice word.
I think that's true, but do you think Japan's attitude towards failure is changing? Failure has always been a very bad thing in Japan.
Yes, in Japan.
Do you think that Japanese society or younger people are more willing to take a chance and fail now than they were before?
Perhaps change, but traditional
So still a lot of people view failure as...
Still exist. But 10 years after, 20 years after, decreasing old style.
So the attitude towards failure, you think it's changing?
Yes, change.
10 or 20 years it'll...
Change. So challenge. Young people always need to challenge.
Okay. A lot of young people today want to start companies, and they have an image of what starting a company is like. What's their biggest misconception about it?
No debt.
No?
No debt.
So you're not dead if you fail?
So yes. Debt is only fail.
Yeah.
But,
That's true.
But keep living is mostly success. So young people think mistake, but no mistake. You live. You're
alive.
You are right. Yes. Keep living is success.
Yeah. Okay.
Next challenge.
I like that. I like that a lot. What would be the advice you'd give to young people today about starting a company?
You're not afraid mistake. Success or mistake become success. But afraid not to become success.
So mistakes can lead to success, but fear never leads to success.
Yes. Success or mistake. Oh, good experience. But
Right.
no challenge. Truly mistake.
So no action
Yes.
is
no
failure.
Action. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think.
Okay. That's a wonderful place to wrap things up, but I want to ask if there's anything you want to tell our listeners about CrowdWorks or about crowdsourcing in Japan or about startups in general.
I definitely say CrowdWorks become the most excellent company in Japan in 21st century, I believe.
I believe this too.
So, listener, shall we join my company?
Excellent. So we will definitely have a link to the CrowdWorks website
Yes.
on the page.
Yes.
So both customers and freelancers can come and join.
Yes.
And Yoshida-san, thank you so much for sitting down and talking.
Okay. Conclusion.
And we're back. Well, the theme for the day was complex issues expressed using very simple words. Koichiro's approach to bootstrapping, selling off everything you have, and cutting off all other options before starting a company is almost unheard of today. But in a way, it's very Japanese. Not so much simply in terms of motivating yourself, but in demonstrating your complete commitment to everyone involved. But to someone as risk-friendly as Koichiro, perhaps he really did need to cut off all other options to really feel the focus. If you want to see the links and resources that Koichiro and I talked about, or to get in touch with social media, or even to sign up as a CrowdWorks freelancer or client, go to disruptingjapan.com/show017, and you'll find links to all of that and more in the resources section. Please leave a comment and let us know what you think about crowdsourcing in Japan or in general. And if you get the chance, please leave us a review on iTunes. That's really the best way you can support the show and really help us get the word out. But most of all, thanks for listening. And thank you for letting people interested in Japanese startups know about us. This is Tim Romero, and thanks for listening to Disrupting Japan.